Everybody, it's that time again. It's that time that we dread. Time for the daily fiascos. A Muslim girl drowned off the coast of Dubai when her father stopped male lifeguards from saving her because he thought it would dishonor her. And Ayatollah agrees with me that expulsions of entire peoples are just fine. The number of women not in the U.S. labor force reached a record high in July. Thank you, Obama voters. Are Americans falling in love with censorship? And it was both predictable and inevitable. And now here it is. People have begun calling for the right to marry robots. My name is Howard Riell, and this is Real Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com, and on Facebook, and on YouTube, and on Tumblr, and in the book Real Truth, Stay Angry, and of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM The Lion. Our call-in number is 877-254-7524. My friends, I might just as well have called this show the Daily Fiasco, but because I don't have only one fiasco, I didn't want to say daily fiascos, plural. You know how it works. I'm a journalist. Item from GOP, the Daily Dose, and the Irish Mirror. A woman drowned off the coast of Dubai when her father stopped male lifeguards trying to save her because he thought it would dishonor her. The man reportedly grappled with lifeguards as they tried to save the 20-year-old woman, as he did not want them to touch her. By the time the lifeguards had restrained the father, the woman had drowned, unquote. I'd like to thank that father for illustrating for us more clearly than mere words could ever do exactly what Islam is. Life of a child means nothing. Tragedy means nothing. All that matters is some sense of honor, and honor is in quotes, before an unthinking God who only wants death and destruction. So I want to thank that father. And now maybe I'll go visit him since he's probably in an empty bedroom. Item from Breitbart. The number of women not in the labor force reached a record high in July, according to data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. According to them, 56,209,000 women aged 16 and older were not participating in the workforce in July, unquote. My friends, the comedic aspect of this, the funny thing about this, is that Barack Obama overwhelmingly got the female vote in both of his elections, and now he's destroying women economically. Now, would you say that women deserve it for their blindness and their naivete and their stupidity for supporting him? Well, I would never, ever let those words come out of my lips. Item from the Washington Times. The country saw another surge of illegal immigrant families crossing the border in July. A top Homeland Security official told a federal court late on Thursday, as the administration begged the judge not to forbid detention of new migrant mothers and children. Deputy Border Patrol Chief Ronald Vitello said the number of illegal immigrant families captured at the border rose in July, bucking a trend and worrying officials who'd been expecting the number of families to drop as the heat increases in late summer, just as the number of unaccompanied minors does, unquote. My friends, I have likened the flow of illegals into our country to sewer pipes running into rivers and streams, pumping millions of gallons of sludge into them, only this is worse, because this sludge eats, heads for welfare offices, kills people, rapes people, worse than sludge. Item from the Daily Mail. A Florida news anchor stormed off midway through a live broadcast in protest over Kardashians coverage. Faced with reporting that Kylie Jenner has a new bunny named Bruce, John Brown walked out live on air during Good Day Orlando on Fox. The news anchor proclaimed, "I'm having a good Friday, so I refuse to talk about the Kardashians." His stunned co-anchor, Amy Kaufeld, was left alone on the couch to carry on the rest of the show, unquote. My friends, I'm going to take my hat off. Here I go. Taking my hat off to this guy, John Brown. And I'm calling for the firing of whatever producer it is who wanted to take up airtime talking about Kylie Jenner's new bunny named Bruce. Also, while I'm at it, I would love to castigate all of the viewers in Florida who were watching that broadcast who really care about the Kardashians or a cute little bunny named Bruce. Those people are empty-headed daffodil eaters. That's a literary expression. And they serve absolutely and totally no purpose in this world. In fact, they are a disgrace to all the men and women who sacrificed their lives, their health for this country to keep us free, to keep us a vital country. And here are these people sitting like mushrooms collecting dust, reading about celebrities who don't give a rat's butt about them because they're truly interested in their bunnies. Those people we don't need. They are free to leave. Item from PamelaGeller.com. Iran's Friday prayer leader, Ayatollah Mohammed Imami Kashani, an Islamic cleric whose position grants him enormous influence in Tehran and who's appointed directly by Iran's supreme leader, called on Friday for the Muslim nations of the world to, quote, unite and expel the Zionists from this region, unquote. I would like to send out a heartfelt thank you to Ayatollah Mohammed Imami Kashani, because he's saying almost the same thing I'm saying. No, I haven't called for Zionists to be expelled from any place, but I have called on the Western world to expel Islam. Now, to all the liberals out there who are aghast at the idea of expelling an entire religion from the Western world, well, first of all, Islam is not a religion. It's only a cult, and a barbaric one at that. So put your concerns aside. But here's a Muslim himself, Ayatollah Mohammed Imami Kashani, saying it's okay to transfer entire groups of people out of countries. Fine. I list him now among my supporters, because I'm here to tell you, every single solitary day, Muslims prove that if we don't transfer them out of our borders and shut the mosques, then we will have continued jihad, continued terror, continued horror for innocent men, women, and children. And so I join arms, so to speak, with the Ayatollah to say, yes, let's transfer people out of countries. Let's transfer the Muslims out of Western countries, and then we can stop taking our shoes off at the airport. It's real truth, my friends. I'll be right back. Yeah, I will. I'll be right back. I really will.
How many times have you gone to a health food store and confused and many different brands and prices of the same product? You want to buy the cheapest, but you're afraid that quality is bad. So you buy the most expensive. Truth is, the cheapest may be better. Green herb herbal supplements are all manufactured in our Wheat Ridge, Colorado plant at 565 Kigley Street, using the highest quality herbs that we store from all over the world. Our 150 different herbal supplements are the most and safest in America. Our guarantee is you're going back to the time never return the bottle into your bowl, no questions asked. So when you come to our new location, look for our new name to get this help. Or call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372. Now, this is the coming and come on.
To all my Facebook friends, I'm going to be doing 2, probably 3 videos today. I know you can't hear the videos that I'm playing on your Facebook video. I apologize for that, but it's important stuff. Go to my Facebook page, And sorry, all you got is me. Back to the radio. All right, guys, welcome back. Howard Riell, Real Truth. Here's a guy named Donald Trump. You may have heard of him. He's about to field a question about illegal immigrants. Now, the guy who's challenging them on this is himself Hispanic. And I've got to wonder whether this guy would be arguing on behalf of illegal immigrants if he were not Hispanic. It's an interesting exchange anyway. Let's listen.
Mr. Trump, I'm Roel Salinas. I'm actually from Mexico. I'm incredibly insulted by the remark. I was waiting for this. Of course you were. Hey, I'm a friend of freedom. Good. I believe in the rule of law. I believe in property rights. My heart goes out to Mr. Jamil. Because there are illegal immigrants that are horrible and terrible. There are also legal immigrants that are horrible and terrible. True. It's a question about rule of law. I'm going to ask a question. Ask a question, please. Protestant. I'm Presbyterian. Presbyterian. But other people that aren't being persecuted, certainly not to the extent, they can come in from the same country. And I could talk about Syria the whole day. Just Syria. I'm sad, disappointed that we're fighting ISIS. Yeah, ISIS is fighting Islam. Why are we, you know, the war in Iraq in 2004, Reuters, July of 2004, I said, well, and I am a very, I think it's strong in a very powerful place. But nobody is powerful. But nobody is But first of all, if you look at what's happening worldwide in terms of all of the things that Jesus did, how one a day you know, for years, you had Iran and Iraq. They go wing, wing, bang, bang, bang. They go 10 for here, 10 for there. And then they rest for fight. Then they go back and they fight. They were the same. I said, if you do this, you're going to ruin the balance. You'll knock out the balance. And Iran will take over Iraq. And somebody even worse than Saddam Hussein will take over the leftovers, ISIS. Which Obama always calls ISIS. You ever notice it? I mean, I understand the reason why, but why? Everybody says ISIS. He has to say ISIS. He is such a divisive person. Such a divisive person. But
All right, guys, I'm going to stop it there. I invite you to go on the YouTube. Donald Trump handles questions at Freedom Fest, July 11th, 2015, Las Vegas. Watch it for yourself. He says a lot of good things. And I like the fact that he speaks the truth and doesn't much care who likes it. And that's the way truth must be. It must be spoken, whether people like it or not. In fact, we have constitutional protections on free speech because inoffensive speech doesn't need protection. It's the offensive speech that must be protected. And if Donald Trump is saying things that people don't like, that shows that he's not afraid to speak some unpopular truths. Item from Breitbart: the number of people not in the labor force reached another record high in July, according to new jobs data released Friday by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The BLS reports 93,770,000 people aged 16 and over were neither employed last month nor had made specific efforts to find work in the prior 4 weeks. Unquote. Item from CNN, Dateline Washington: California rapper Brandon McCartney, known by his professional name Lil B the Based God, I just read it, folks, released a track last year expressing his love and respect for Bill Clinton. In his ode to the former president, titled "B, I'm Bill Clinton," he raps a sort of endorsement for Hillary Clinton even before her 2016 presidential bid was announced. "Shout outs to Hillary Clinton, you gonna win that presidency," unquote. But last month, Lil B took that endorsement back. And in a series of passionate tweets, he publicly endorsed Bernie Sanders, saying, quote, "As much as I want to a woman leading the USA right now, it's all about Bernie. He's the real, he loves us," unquote. So, my friends, obviously one does not need to study English grammar in order to be a rapper. Item, a headline: Ferguson protesters chant, quote, "We're ready for war," unquote. Well, it turns out they're also ready to break into stores and steal things. Item from Breitbart: California Governor Jerry Brown signed a law on Monday that bans the word alien from the state's labor laws, unquote. My friends, this is pure, unadulterated liberalism. If there is a problem facing this country, just censor someone, close their mouths, close your eyes, close your ears, and the problem will go away, right? I mean, there's no child 5 years old or younger who would disagree with that. Hence, liberals. Item from the Holy New York Times. We have to knock out their wealth, Donald Trump said, of how he would defeat the Islamic State. Take the oil, knock the hell out of them. Stop. My friends, I don't like to blow my own horn, but I will. Donald Trump, in his way, in the business sense, in the street smart sense, is a genius. Okay? Nobody calls me a genius. And yet I've been saying for years precisely what he's saying. When we went into Iraq was like the second, maybe the third largest oil producer in the country. We conquered Iraq. Well, I was stupid enough to ask at that time, why aren't we now the second or third largest oil producer? We conquered the country. Why don't we just take their oil? And people would roll their eyes. Oh, Riell, there you go again. But here's Donald Trump worth $9 billion, approximately $9 billion more than I'm worth. And he's saying precisely the same thing. Take their oil, take their money, render them harmless. I can find no fault with that solution. Can you? If there's a problem there, tell me. We know that the Arab countries are funding terror, so they don't have a right to that money. They're doing criminal things with that money. We take their oil, and then they're free to leave. They can go wherever they want. Let them go to Jupiter for all I care. But without money, they're not going to be funding a whole lot of terrorism. And so Donald Trump is exactly right. And if I were him, I would call a certain conservative radio talk show host and talk about the vice presidency. Item from The Guardian, classifying books according to their suitability for different age ranges would be ill-advised, unworkable, and would raise serious concerns about censorship, American free speech campaigners have said, in the wake of a poll claiming that more than 7 out of 10 U.S. adults believe a rating system similar to that used for films should be applied to books. The Harris poll of 2,244 U.S. adults was released in July, revealing that in the space of 4 years, the percentage of Americans believing that some books should be completely banned has increased by more than half. In 2011, 18% of those surveyed wanted some books banned. In 2015, 28% agreed with the assertion. Just under a half, 48%, said no books should be banned, compared with 56% in 2011. Unquote. My friends, let me ask you a question. Should I stop hosting Real Truth? Should I call my friend Cody and Michael Golden and say, listen, I'm not doing the show anymore? That would take them by surprise, I trust, and they would say, why, Howard? What's wrong? And I'll say, for almost 7 years, this month it'll be 7 years, I have been yammering at the top of my lungs, trying to wake people up and let them know the value of the truth, the freedoms and liberties that are being taken away from us. And now here are all these Americans who voluntarily want to give up their freedoms and their liberties. It's discouraging and it's maddening. Because these people are dead weight. Worse, because dead weight doesn't vote. These people are dead weight, don't know what's happening in America, don't know why there's America, what America stands for, what good men and women have died for. Willing to ban books in America in 2015. Sometimes I don't know if I should laugh or cry. We'll be right back.
I almost feel like there was another agenda. I didn't mind the first question at all.
all men are created, as they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among them, deriving their just power from the consent of the government. This is the American method.
All right, guys, we're back. We are back. Howard Riell, the show is called Real Truth. Now, I am not, contrary to popular belief, I am not the only conservative talk show host in America. There are a couple of others, and they're pretty good. One of them is Mark Levin. By the way, he's got a new book out. I told you about it. I've been reading it. It's required reading. Go out and get it. Anyway, Mark Levin is weighing in on this whole flap between Donald Trump and Megyn Kelly. And he's got some interesting things to say that you probably have not heard elsewhere in the media. So let's give a listen.
I almost feel like there was another agenda going on. Hooray. The constant push. I didn't mind the first question at all. About the third part. We already knew it. We already knew it. And one day Donald Trump comes in and probably for account. That's a serious matter. But that aside, the 5 million
My friends, I'm going to stop there. Apparently it is so. Is that what American voters want? Well, I know it's what I want, and I know it's what Mark Levin wants. How much of America watched the debate? I know it's 24 million. That's a small percentage of America. And of those watching, weren't they watching to see what outrageous thing Trump would say next? Were they watching to truly size up the candidates and stake out their positions? Well, not based on the crap I'm reading on Facebook. It's all about Megyn Kelly said this and Trump insulted that. And they're putting lingerie shots of Megyn Kelly on Facebook. Is that really what we've come to? Is that really where political discourse goes? Well, not on this show. Item from the rap metal detectors and members of the gang enforcement detail deployed for red carpet screening of the film about Ice Cube and Dr. Dre's gangsta rap group. The Los Angeles Police Department rolled out additional units Monday for the premiere of Straight Outta Compton as the stars hit the red carpet at LA Live. Unquote. My friends, we're racism. Racism. When you get a movie about African Americans in the inner city and the screening of the movie, metal detectors and gang enforcement police, what are they suggesting? Item from Slate, the Supreme Court's recent 5-4 decision in Obergefell versus Hodges legalizing same-sex marriage across the United States has already spawned speculation about, quote, what will be next in expanding marital rights. As the Supreme Court noted, the history of marriage is one of both continuity and change. That institution has evolved over time. Interracial marriage, equality between husband and wife, same-sex marriage were all included for long periods of time under our Constitution and now have been sanctioned. We're all excluded. Now been sanctioned and protected by the courts. While these changes have come slowly and courts are unlikely to take the next step in expanding marital rights for some time, the courts are probably not finished expanding the legal definition of marital rights. A New York Times op-ed published shortly after the Supreme Court's same-sex decision said the court's logic could eventually lead to recognition of polygamy or plural marriages, an argument also made by Chief Justice John Roberts in his dissenting opinion. My friends, next up on the docket, robot-human marriages. Yeah, you heard me right. We'll be back.